Marvel villains always break because of one flaw. Thanos was blinded by balance. Scarlet Witch was consumed by grief. Loki craved validation. But Doctor Doom is different. Because Doom doesn't follow the rules of the universe, he rewrites them. Most casual fans think he's just Iron Man in a magic cloak. But comic readers know the truth. Doctor Doom is built on a terrifying blueprint that makes him nearly unbeatable. And if Marvel adapts that blueprint correctly, he won't just become the MCU's next villain, he could become the greatest antagonist in cinema history. To understand why he is the ultimate threat to reality, we have to look past the surface. We have to break down the absolute unwritten laws of Doctor Doom. Let's start with rule number 1, the paradox of the armor. When you see Doom, the first thing you notice is the mask and the titanium plating. Most people look at that and think it's just technology. That exact misunderstanding is why his enemies end up in the ground. Tony Stark's armor is pure, unadulterated science. It is cutting-edge, logical, digital, and strictly bound by the laws of physics. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum, Doctor Strange's magic is purely spiritual, chaotic, and cosmic. Most characters in the Marvel universe choose a side. They are either masters of science or masters of the mystic arts. Doom looked at both of them and realized that relying on just one is a fatal weakness. His armor is a mechanical masterpiece, designed to be durable enough to tank direct physical hits from planetary gods like Thor and the Hulk while blasting concussive, high-tech energy. But it's what's inside the lining that makes it terrifying. Deep within the titanium mesh, Doom hand-carved ancient protective sorcery runes. His suit isn't just shielding, it is a literal conductor for the dark arts. This creates a flawless mechanical paradox that breaks the rules of standard combat. High-tech heroes like Iron Man or the Guardians of the Galaxy cannot hack or disable his suit, because its core operating system is fundamentally driven by magic. On the flip side, powerful mystics like Doctor Strange or Wong cannot easily dispel his spells, because the physical components delivering them are rooted in unhackable, hard science. He leaves his enemies with absolutely zero blind spots to exploit, making him the only man on Earth who can outthink Stark and outspell Strange at the exact same time. But armor is just metal, and tech can eventually be worn down. What actually scales Doom far beyond ordinary gods is rule number 2, the Law of Absolute Willpower. In the Marvel universe, power is usually a lottery. Thor was born an Asgardian god. Bruce Banner was accidentally mutated by gamma radiation. Peter Parker was bitten by a radioactive spider. Their power comes from external circumstances. Doom is entirely different. Victor Von Doom is a regular human being who simply refuses to lose. His willpower is so violently intense, so unyielding, that it physically warps the laws of reality around him. To understand the sheer scale of his ego, you have to look at one of the most famous confrontations in Marvel comic history, involving Zebediah Killgrave, the Purple Man. If you watch the Jessica Jones series, you know Killgrave's terrifying power. His mind control frequency can force anyone, from ordinary citizens to powerful heroes, to take their own lives with a single spoken command. When Killgrave confronted Doom, he looked at him and commanded him to stop. Doom didn't use a specialized gadget to block the frequency. He didn't cast a protective shield spell. He walked right through the mind control using nothing but his sheer, unadulterated ego. He looked Killgrave dead in the eyes and essentially told him that his mind was far too magnificent to ever be controlled by a lesser being. Let's pause right here, because this is the ultimate debate for comic fans. Drop a comment right now. If Doom went head-to-head with a peak chaos magic-wielding Scarlet Witch, whose willpower breaks first? Tell me who wins that psychological battle, because the comics have a very specific dark answer. But I want to see your theories below. When the entire multiverse ended during the Secret Wars storyline, major heroes fell into total despair. They watched their worlds die and accepted defeat. Doom didn't. He looked at the dying embers of reality, fought omnipotent cosmic entities known as the Beyonders, stole their godlike powers, and built a brand new world from the remaining scraps. He doesn't wait for destiny to choose him. He forces destiny to bend the knee. This brings us to the deepest, most complex layer of his character. And rule number 3, the Totalitarian Utopia. Thanos wanted to save the universe from resource depletion through random, cold-blooded genocide. Doom wants to save the universe through total, absolute subjugation. And the scariest part about Victor Von Doom, he might actually be right. In the comic lore, Doom used a combination of high science and dark magic to peer into hundreds of thousands of alternate futures. He watched how the timeline played out across the multiverse. In every single future where humanity kept its free will and fought its own battles, the universe eventually ended in total, violent destruction. There was only one single future out of hundreds of thousands where mankind survived, disease was cured, poverty ceased, and war was eradicated forever. The timeline where Dr. Doom ruled the world. Doom does not view himself as a villain. In his own mind, he is a tragic savior, forced to carry the heavy, exhausting burden of tyranny because everyone else is too weak, too emotional, and too short-sighted to do what is necessary to save reality. If you look at his home kingdom of Latveria, it is a beautifully complex psychological trap for the audience. The streets are pristine. The technology is centuries ahead of the rest of the world. There is no crime. And the citizens are perfectly fed and cared for. They have absolute security and perfect prosperity, but it comes at the cost of absolute freedom. The moment a citizen whispers a single word of complaint against the state, a swarm of Doombots violently removes them from society. This is what makes him a cinematic masterpiece waiting to happen. How do the Avengers or the Fantastic Four stop a villain when his ultimate victory is the only thing keeping their universe alive? How do you fight a man who is genuinely trying to save you, even if he has to put you in chains to do it? This is why Dr. Doom is the ultimate final boss for the future of cinema. He isn't a monster or an alien warlord to be punched into submission. He is a genius scientist, a master sorcerer, and a sovereign monarch with diplomatic immunity. If Marvel truly understands these unwritten rules, if they show the seamless synergy of his magic, the terrifying scope of his ego, and the twisted nobility of his totalitarian goals, we are going to get an absolute masterpiece. But if they nerf his power or turn him into a standard, generic movie villain, the franchise is in serious trouble. Hit that subscribe button right now to join the inner circle for more deep dive character breakdowns. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next analysis.